All right, let's catch up. We just finished the game turn 30 in Kiev to Rostov in the campaign. Um, Not a whole lot of drastic changes. I mean, the Axis are still fighting with supply. I didn't blow the bridges down here, and they attacked across and they got across. And of course, they had taken that victory location. They had taken that anyhow before, but now they're across the river here, which is not good. I did blow the bridges now up here. Let's go along the river here. You can see where I've blown the bridges there. Haven't blown them over here at Dnepr, whatever that is. Did blow them up here in Kremenskut, whatever it's called. And we go up the Dnepr a little farther. Blew those bridges. Blew the bridge here. Pulled the Soviet mobile bridges out. Of course, the Kiev bridges, they're already blown. Still no activity up here. All right, Kiev now. So in Kiev, give me a pointer here. The attacks are going back and forth. I probably don't need to, but sooner I get Kiev taken by the Germans, all of this stuff up north here will start to come to life. But like I said, I don't necessarily know if I need it or not. But still, I want to do some combat, and this seems to be the only place where I can do it that's easy to deal with supply and everything. So the Germans attacked in here first, earlier, and they got driven back. And then the Soviets had to do a mandated attack, and I can't remember how, they failed. Oh yeah, they failed and the units moved back. And then during the movement phase, a couple of them were able to come back. A couple of them were able to reestablish themselves. But it's getting weaker in here in Kiev. So they've got supplies. You got, like I say, you can't have more than 4 within 4 hexes, 4 ASPs. This headquarters, so he's controlling all of this. Nothing above that. Soviets had 2 mandated attacks they had to do. That was one of them. And another one was right in here. No, it was right in here. And they did that, and that was not successful. They actually lost. Okay? And you see the Germans Axis are across the river here with that Slovakian unit, and there's a German infantry unit underneath them, a division. So they're across the river there. Which is, you don't want that for the Soviet Union. They made a couple attacks down here, but when the Soviet turn came up, Soviets were able to pull back across the river. Now that's where they're going to start their defense there and over here too. All right. No, the Germans pulled off a maneuver down here, but now he's surrounded. This guy here, he got across the river and attacked the unit in this marsh. And then they had their movement and ended up going around behind here trying to cut these Russians off, which, well, I mean, there's units blocking him now. And he's already in emergency supply. He's going to flip anyhow to out of supply here shortly. So, and trying to get some Russian units, trying to get some Soviets from over here, trying to get them up and to help that area. Do not want to give this up because that'll create that gap in here. That you don't want that gap for the Germans to, once they get their supply worked out, to pass through here. Also, there's a phase called German logistics pause, and you have to take it before turn 34. And you go into like a 5-turn slump, but it will allow you to catch up, and it will allow you to drop the 3 forward supply bases on the map. And I'm trying to avoid doing that until as late as I can because you have to deploy them across converted rail lines. Well, I mean, come on. The converted rail... Oh, I got to fix that one down here. The converted rail lines, which, you know what? I didn't bother to move those. Well, darn it. Let me fix that right now. So this rail line here, he's not going anywhere. Well, he's going into here. But this guy down here, he would have gone... So he would have moved 1. I mean, this guy here would have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we'll get him straightened out. All right, so you got to drop those bases on a converted rail line. I think it has to be in a town. I have to look. I'm not sure. But those bases, you can bring in reinforcements on them. You can bring in MSUs and dumps and stuff on those bases. So I don't want them way back here. I want to get them out to the front, right? Which, by the way, now I need to remeasure that 21 hex distance from over there. So all these Germans here, they went out of fuel. They had a fuel shortage, so they weren't moving nowhere. It's 2 Panzer divisions sitting in there. 11th Panzer's moving up. Some more out of supply stuff here, but they will go back into supply in the next termination phase. So really, the only places the Germans are making any progress would be down here in the south, to the east of Kherson. Their supply point, their farthest point is right there. So 7 hexes from that point, they can stay in supply. So these guys are all okay in here. In the middle, nothing. So the Soviets are safe in the pocket over there of the Dnepr in the bend. They're okay here, but they don't have much. If the Germans should beat up a couple of those units there, they're going to have a free hand, I think, in that town. And other than that, I think the Soviets are okay up the river here. But we'll see. We'll see. Because like I say, eventually, Germans are going to come in from up there and cut all this stuff off. So we'll see what happens. I had some reinforcements. I chose not to bring in the airplanes because you lose victory points. If you bring them in on that turn, you lose like 4 victory points. And they really don't have but a handful right now anyhow. So the Soviets, they get... I'm going to look at these charts over here. So on these charts, you have... active cadre eliminated and cannot rebuild. Okay, so if a unit goes into the cannot rebuild box, he's completely eliminated from the game. Usually how that happens, there's certain units that automatically go there when they're destroyed. But if you get an E or an eliminated result in combat, they can't be rebuilt. Units that are killed, they go into the eliminated box or the cadre box. Okay, and then you can rebuild up the chart. And then once they're in the active box, you can bring them in as reinforcements. So it's kind of like, I guess that's to demonstrate, units not getting totally wiped out, but being able to repopulate them with some of their troops. And then they go back on the map in a major city or a city. Only 1 unit per turn in any one of the cities. So, and if you've got like, I think the Soviets have 7 or 8 or 9 major cities. So they, 9 units can drop in on those major cities. Germans, they don't really have much going on. They do have 1 replacement point that they earned. I'm going to put that on here. 1 I-type, so get him on there. But we haven't used him yet. You can save him, but you can't go above the maximum number on your chart. All right, Soviet reinforcements, they don't even see any until game turn 35. And these guys, all these 2 rows of them here, can't activate until either both Kiev hexes are gone or to the Germans, or on game turn 36 they can be released. Of course, by that time, the Germans are coming down from the north, and we'll cut a lot of that stuff off in the Kiev area. A lot of eliminated Soviet units, you can see. Germans, those guys, they start in the cadre box from the game. So I don't have any points to rebuild them. You can bring a one-step cadre unit, one-step unit from the cadre box onto the map, but had no reason to. All right, so that's pretty much it for the game turn 30, or the second game turn. And let's get this up so y'all can see the mild, but still a little progression that the Axis have made. All right, we'll talk to y'all shortly.